Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to another video. My name is Carmela and today I'm going to be doing 3 things on this video. Number 1, I'm going to be talking about my experience of transitioning from the Midwest to Las Vegas, Nevada. Number 2, while I'm doing that, I am going to be doing kind of a mini mukbang, and I'm going to be eating, I know you guys can't see it, but some Oops All Berries because it's like 8 o'clock in the morning. And I have a small bag of like Cinnabon jumbo snacks. I'm just going to try this. I bought it for the kids and they didn't like it, so I'm going to just see how it tastes. And I have a nice beautiful Fuji apple, and those are amazing if you haven't tried them. So I'm gonna start with the Oops All Berries. So I decided to make a transition from the Midwest to Las Vegas, Nevada. I was born and raised in St. Louis, Missouri, and I lived there up until the day after my graduation. And then I transitioned to Cincinnati, Ohio. My mother moved there. She wanted a better life, and that is subsequently where I ended up moving and going to college. So I stayed there for about 13 years, maybe about 13 years, and my mom and dad ended up passing away. A lot of different things transpired, and I ended up moving back to St. Louis, Missouri after one of my cousins passed away. But ultimately, after my mom passed, I knew I didn't want to be in the Midwest anymore. I just didn't know where I was going to go. So I ended up taking a trip to Las Vegas. I already had history here. My brother stayed here. He's passed away as well. And I have nieces and nephews out here as well. So I took the trip. I liked what I seen. I enjoyed it. I just felt like I was at home. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna save my money and transition to Las Vegas, Nevada. Well, it wasn't that easy to do. Once I got back to Cincinnati, I ended up having to stay with a family member, and from that point, oh, I'm not even eating. Let me eat. Okay. I love Oops All Berries. From that point, I ended up being like, okay, I need to save like $20,000 and relocate. Well, I couldn't do that because, you know, when you're staying with someone, you can't stay for free, and I ended up having to pay a lot of money to stay where I was at. And then my cousin passed away, so that kind of put a wrench in all of the money I was saving. So I ended up going down to St. Louis, Missouri, attending the service, and you know, it kind of felt like home again, so I decided to stay. Whatever the case, I ended up saving up as much as I could. And what I was trying to do was look for places. Now, if you are moving to another city, you obviously need to look for apartments first before you go. Jobs if you don't already have one. So every place I was looking at, these people were not responding to me. These people just, they weren't trying to talk to me really. So whatever the case, that didn't end up working out. At the time, I had a good friend who was kind of giving me some information. She gave me a lot of information, so I was kind of picking through what information I could that was helpful for me. So after that, I ended up just saying, you know what? I can't really find anywhere. I feel like if I'm there, I will have a better opportunity. So I booked the Airbnb for about a month, and I ended up renting a car so I can get on the road. So we left in December. The first problem was the fact that we couldn't really get like a truck or SUV because the prices were super astronomical. We just couldn't do it. So I ended up getting a mid-sized car, and that still was not enough room. The day that I went and got the rental, and plus I had a lot of stuff. The day that I went and got the rental, I was so sad because I was trying to pack the car. It was too much stuff. So I had to leave some behind. And okay, so once we got the car all packed up, we get on the road, and we basically, this was a 23-hour drive. So we basically had to drive through several different states. So the first state that I ended up driving through was Kansas. So it was Kansas City, Kansas. My father resided in Kansas City, Kansas before he passed away, and I wanted to stop there to visit his gravesite. Well, that didn't work because I guess they moved it or whatever the case, and I wasn't in contact with anyone on my father's side to be able to, like, you know, talk to them and find out where he was at. So after that, we went to Kansas City, Kansas, and it was a lot of driving. We basically drove through the whole state of Kansas City, the whole state of Kansas, and all you see really is like some tumbleweeds, a lot of windmills. You hear a lot of, all the radio stations basically are kind of like country. You see a lot of, you know, farm area, like farm animals and stuff like that. It was a lot of space. It was just a lot of wide open space. So we get about 8 or 9 hours into the drive, and I'm tired because I left at like 7 or 8 in the morning. We went and got the car, got on the road, and I was tired. So we stopped at a hotel. I forget which part of Kansas City it was in, but we stopped there. I think we ended up getting dinner first. We went to like Applebee's or something. We got some dinner, and then we went to the hotel. And I was so happy to stop because my arms were tired. I was the only one driving. Of course, my boys are teens, but they can't drive yet. So we ended up staying the night. The room was so comfortable. It was a real nice hotel. It was the Comfort Inn and Suites. And it was like really, really nice. We ended up getting like 2 beds and it had a real nice bathtub. It was real nice. So we ended up leaving the next morning, and we stayed on the road. We drove all day. And then the next stop was, I believe it was Colorado. Let me show y'all the little, these are all, we got souvenirs on the way. So we ended up stopping in Colorado. Let's talk about that. So Colorado is beautiful. That is a given. The city, you can tell they take care of the land. It's really nice. Now mind you, it was, because it was December, it was super cold. So that was the thing. We, you know, had to dress in multiple layers and things like that. And so we were like, I was like stopping to get gas every time it got on half. And the reason why I did that was because I did not want to be caught anywhere with no gas and we wouldn't be able to stop. At that time, that good friend of mine, she was saying that this is a drive like no other. You need to watch out, especially when you get in Colorado, for deer. You need to watch out for rocks and the mountains. So I'm like, well, it can't be that bad. Y'all, it was that bad, okay? So basically, when we got to Colorado, everything started out flat, okay? Everything started out flat. But when we got to like Denver, like the Denver part, oh my God, it was so many mountains, guys. I was very terrified. First of all, I'm afraid of heights. Second of all, this is a new experience and it's a culture shock because I've never driven through Denver, Colorado. Now, driving myself. When I was 13 or 14 and we first moved out west, we ended up taking a Greyhound. I mean, yeah, it was beautiful. It's a lot less scary and stressful if you're riding along and not driving. So we were seeing so many signs like the deer, and then at a certain point in time, you would be driving on like a steep grade of road. So for 10 to 15 minutes at a time, you could be just driving like this. Or for 10 or 15 minutes at a time, you could just be driving like this. And depending on the percentage of the steepness is how steep or how low it would be. So sometimes it would be 5, 15. You know, it just depended. And it was so freaking scary because the more you get up in you're actually up in the mountains. You're driving up in the mountains. So you could be all the way up here and you could see cars all the way down there. And it was just so intimidating, so scary. Certain parts of the highway, you're on a highway on the mountains. So certain parts of that is, you got one little thin rail. If you sneeze or you go over that, you gone. You're going to die, like literally. That was what we were going through. On top of that, there were a lot of signs that said like fallen rocks. So basically they were saying that there were already big rocks on the ground. Another sign said falling rocks. So basically that means that you got to look out for rocks that might be falling on you or on the car. The next thing, like I said, was the deer. So any point in time, a deer can jump out and you can actually hit that deer. Like, this is dangerous. Like, this is a dangerous drive. If anybody wants to drive out to Vegas or out west, don't go through Colorado. I advise you don't do it because it is so scary, and especially if you're driving by yourself. So we're driving, and it was really, really cold in Colorado. We got to a certain point where it was like a labyrinth of different roads and different things. Like, I was just going to the gas station to get gas, and this is what we came up on. So we get here, and I'm not from here, so I don't know which way, like, there's really no signs to tell you, like, okay, don't come in here, don't turn in there, or turn in here. So you just got to kind of figure it out as you go. And how do you figure that out? Other cars coming your way. So, or other cars, you know, going the way that you think you're supposed to go. So it was just crazy. It was a car behind me, and this person obviously was impatient. You know, a person from Colorado is used to driving in that type of conditions. He didn't care. He was just ready to go, and he was being real impatient. He just hurry up and like breeze past me. It was crazy. So we eventually get back on the highway to keep going, and it starts snowing. Okay. So now, not only do you have to worry about deers jumping out at you, falling rocks already on the ground that might be just dangerous to roll over. Rocks might fall on you, and then now we're talking about snow and ice. So all of that stuff was playing a factor. Okay. So we are driving. We drove for the longest time, and at some point there was a sign that said no services. So that means you cannot stop. You can't stop to get gas. You can't stop to get food. You cannot stop to pee. So you have to make sure you got food, that you already used the bathroom at a certain place, and that you have gas. It was so crazy, y'all. I'm telling y'all, it was so crazy. And so, like I said, it was beautiful. You could see houses, you know, just houses all lit up and all done up. It was the bomb. Like that part, just looking at the scenery. But as we started to drive more, we started hitting huge mountains. Like we started not hitting them with the car, but we started coming upon huge mountains to where it's only one single road, and you going like this, 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 and you going like that, and you going like that. And so it was just crazy. And if you look to the left, it's a big old mountain right here. You know, the left, or, you know, and if you look over here, it's like, so the mountains were intimidating. So all this stuff was so intimidating. I was just like, me and the kids was tired. We was like, oh my God, this is ridiculous. And so I know I stopped eating because this is crazy. So I was like, oh, I'll be glad when I get out of Colorado, because this is crazy. I just couldn't take it. Okay, let me take a bite of my apple. These apples good. Okay. So, at one point, it's good. Okay. So, at one point, we just stopped at a McDonald's because we was like, you know what? We can't do this. We need to take a break. The kids had to get out and walk every now and then. So did I. Then after the McDonald's trip, I went to get some more gas. And I think I slept. I didn't even sleep. I just rested and kind of just was like, for like an hour. Because I was like, I can't keep doing this. So, after that, we ended up getting out of Colorado. Then we hit Utah. So, with Utah, I was like, thank God I'm out of Colorado. No more mountains, no more blah, 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 this, that. So, we get to Utah. It's more mountains, okay? So, we see all these mountains. Now, instead of worrying about mountains, or instead of worrying about deers and snow and this and that, we got fog. And I had my glasses, but I didn't have, it's like an anti-fog glaze you put over glasses. I don't know. If y'all know, comment below. But I didn't have that on my glasses, and all of the fog and stuff, it was crazy. I had to like drive with my hand on the high beams because I didn't even know how to work the car to put it on permanently. It was, y'all, I was just going through it for like an hour or so. Hand on the high beams, just praying. Ain't nothing jump out. Just praying that I don't hit nobody. It was a lot of destitute area. Nobody was there. So we just driving all night. The kids go to sleep, so I was just happy about that. I was trying to listen to music, but once we got to Colorado and Utah, I was like, you know what, forget the music. I didn't even get a souvenir when we got to Utah. I was just over it because I went to like 2 places trying to get them. Couldn't even get them. I was just like, forget it. I'm done. So, I was getting frustrated with Utah because it was just like, I didn't think we were going to have to go so far and so long in Utah. So, by the time we got about, I want to say 2 to 3 hours away from Vegas, it was like 5 o'clock in the morning. So, we ended up stopping at this place. We had a cooler. The kids had a cooler in the back. We pitched that cooler because they got tired of being like crammed up and stuff like that. And I had just bought that cooler the day before. Man, we pitched that sucker. I'm telling you, we pitched it. And so I felt better about Utah as it got like light outside. It was 5 o'clock in the morning, so I was like, okay, I can see, cool, this is good. So we back on the road again. We see more big mountains, and I'm just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And the kids was getting impatient, and my son was like, let me look at the map and see how much further we are going to be in Utah. So he looks at the map and he says, Mom, we got to go through Arizona too. I was like, oh, okay. All right. I said, let me see that phone. I had to see, because I didn't know we had to go through Arizona, y'all. I thought we only had to go through those certain states that I named. I ain't get a souvenir for that either, because I was just pissed at this point. I had driven for like 20 hours. I was tired. So we get to Arizona, and this is really, 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 really scary, guys. Now, the mountains was intimidating in Colorado, you know, but it was dark, so it was less intimidating. In the light, you could see everything, and it just kind of hits you different. So I ended up going through Arizona. Now, these mountains were different. They like red and orange, and it's like real, real big and real, real tall. And I was just like, I don't know if anybody watching ever seen Waiting to Excel, but you know how those mountains look in Phoenix, Arizona, or wherever they was at, in that whatever part of Arizona, that's how the mountains look. And they just like, it's a culture shock to you, because it's something you never seen. But we don't have mountains in Missouri, and if we do, it don't look like that. We don't have mountains, we don't have mountains in Missouri like that, but we don't have, we got mountains in Cincinnati, but it's totally not like that. I just was like, oh my God, we literally, I thought it was a slice. I'm thinking this slice of Arizona that we have to drive through is like a small little piece. It's like, boom. We was driving through Arizona for like an hour or so. So we finally make it to Las Vegas. I hope y'all can see it. We finally make it to Vegas, okay, or Nevada. So we finally make it to Nevada, and I was like, yes, cool, this is good. I was happy as hell. That we was making it there, and I was like, we in Nevada, but I don't see the strip. I wasn't gonna know it was real until I could see the strip from a far off distance. We was driving for about an hour in Nevada, y'all. Okay, so after that, I was agitated. I was irritated. I was just all of the above. I was just mad. I was starting to get delusional, and I was like, what is taking so long? I was like, oh my God, I can't. I was doing all that, and the kids was like, it's okay, it's okay. And I can only imagine how they thinking, like, our life is in your hands. Calm the hell down. That's what I don't know. That's what I would think, like, calm down. Because I was just getting so mad, like, why are we not there yet? So we finally make it there, and we finally seen the strip, and it was beautiful. It was beautiful, and I was so glad and so happy to be back at home. And that's when I began my new life. So I'm gonna end right there. I do have more stories about Las Vegas living. I do have other stories about my life, such as boundaries, friendship. I have so many different stories to tell. So if you guys can comment, like, and subscribe to this channel for more updates. And also, before we go, let me sit this to the side. Before we go, y'all, I have an unboxing to do. So I ordered something hold up. I ordered something. I think it was for my birthday. My birthday just passed. It was free too. I just had to pay for shipping. And let me see. It is from Bath and Body Works. Hold up. Bath and Body Works. Okay. So it's a perfume. It's free. Never smelled this fragrance, but let's go. Okay. Oh, they got all this stuff in here. I don't know what this is. Hold up. Oh. So they got a little flyer and whatnot. Oh, wow. So this is the little packing. Oh, I really want to keep this box. It's dope. And they got bubble wrap. My daughter will love to pop it. So it is called Sunshine Mimosa. And I'm getting ready to smell it and spray it on me and see. I can't smell nothing. Of course. I'm going to try it though. Not too much. Oh. Y'all, this smell good. Okay. So I'm going to put a link below because this out of sight right here. Sunshine Mimosa by Bath and Body Works. I know that flash, that light is getting into y'all. But the Fine Fragrance Mist. This smells real nice. You could smell, I'm sorry. This is a different type of smell. It's clean. Excuse me. It's refreshing. And it's not too strong unless you just spray a bunch on there. But thank you guys for tuning into this video. Also, shameless plug, if you haven't noticed or cannot tell, I'm an artist and the name of my business is From Pain to Painting. I have an Etsy shop. I will put that link below as well. And everybody go off in the comments, like, subscribe, and share. Peace.